Hello, folks. I am back with another firearms review, and this time it's going to be on a firearm that I did not really consider before because I'm really not into micro size pistols, but situations as of late have dictated me to go down that road due to magazine capacity situations where the area I travel. And not only that, there is also a problem with size, and so I had to get something that was really shrunk up. So let me get to this right here. It's going to be on the Sig Sauer P938. Now, this is the Legion version. There are other versions of the P938. There you would have to check Sig's website. They have them with pretty much with different looks and different tech colors, and I'm just going to bring that up in a moment. This is going to be a 9 millimeter, and I'm going to show clear right now so nobody gets upset. This is a clear firearm, and we are ready. I'm going to put the magazine back in for aesthetics because it has something to mention about that. Okay, and this is, like I said, a 9 millimeter firearm. As with all Legion firearms, they usually come with 3 or 4 magazines. And as you see here, it does have the X-ray sights. As you see, it's very bright in the front, and these also work in the nighttime as well. Uh, so that's why these X-ray sights are pretty much really good, long as you can be able to use these properly and align your sights properly. You're in good shape. The overall length is going to be 5.9 inches. The height is going to be 4.3 inches. The width is 1.1 inches. The barrel length is 3.0 inches. And the weight is 17 ounces. Get back to the weight in a moment. The sight radius is going to be roughly 4 inches. And if you notice here, it's different from the other P938s, is on this particular Legion version. Um, it has a flat face trigger with a kind of little bit of a hook here, and I really like this trigger, especially when you're firing. Lately I've been in the flat triggers, but I really like this trigger on this particular firearm. It works very well. Uh, the frame is going to be an alloy, but it feels pretty much weighty. This is a little bit of a weighty firearm, and I'll explain that. I've shot my friend's Kimber Micro 9, and actually I was trying to choose between the Kimber Micro 9 Nightfall and this one. And remember shooting my friend's Micro 9. Uh, the thing I noticed about it is that Micro 9 was a little more snappier than this one. This had more of a solid feel, uh, for especially for a firearm this size and a 9 millimeter caliber, which gives some oomph in the size firearm like this. Uh, the recoil was just pretty much minimal, or you don't really notice it when you're firing. Whether you're shooting fast, or you could still have some way of control, and I'll show you those targets. And the difference with the weight between this is 17, believe 17 point oh ounces. On the Kimber Micro 9, it was 15.6 ounces. So maybe that somewhat had to do with this has a little more weight to it, enable a little more control. And personally, I think this felt more solid, a lot more firm, if you will, or feel of being better built. Even though that Kimber Micro 9 that my friend has, I shot it very well. It was really nice to shoot, but comparing these two, you have to go with this. Not only one thing is the slide is stainless steel. The barrel is what they call a carbon steel, and it does have G10 grips. Everybody's familiar with the G10 grips that they put on the Legion series. Now, a couple other things about this firearm. A lot of people who have, and my camera's acting up. Hopefully, it'll clear up. There we go. Hopefully. All right. A lot of people have problems when they have a firearm of this particular size. The problem that people have is that their hands are very big. And the reason why I was mentioning the magazine, the normal P938s, they are usually a thinner in the grip. This has more of a swell on the outside, and also there's a magwell on this particular firearm. So usually on the P38s there is no magwell here, and plus you have a flat face magazine base plate, so it's flat and metal. So what will happen is people's pinky area will be underneath this. Now, even with this magazine out, uh, I still can grip it, even though there's my finger is a little bit off. Now, when you put the magazine in with the curvature of the base plate here, now it kind of got more of a more controlled grip. Now, there are other models of the 938. There's one that I'm thinking of. It's called the Spartan version. I have a 1911 Spartan version, the Spartan 2. So the Spartan 2 version of that has this similar uh, magazine uh, plate. You can buy magazines that have this type of curve in the plate. So that's your choice. I prefer the Legion version myself. Another thing is that it's virtually non-snag around here. I mean, I've carried this. Just doing some testing, carrying this. I do have a nice Galco holster for this, um, and just carrying this, I felt like I had no issues or anything of that nature. Um, a lot of times there, you have your sharp edges and you could tend to feel them, which brings me up to oh, the way this hammer sits. And you know I'm a big fan of 1911s. The way this hammer sits here, this hammer, when it's cocked and locked, the hammer is way deep into the beaver tail. So you could see how much space there is right there, right there. It's pretty much like it's made to like permanently to be affixed in here. So when you have this like in holstered, I carry appendix mostly. So when you have this holster, most of 1911s, let's say, or hammer fired firearms, they tend to kind of like jab you in the stomach or jab you in your side. So with this, you don't really notice anything. It just feels like it's just part of the firearm, and there's no kinking like you're some, or you feel like that the firearm is piercing you on in your side or your or in your stomach. So that's one of the unique features that I like about the way this hammer is right here. A couple other features, uh, as you know, there's the backstrap checkering here. I don't know how many lines per inch checkering it is right here. I would be lying if I told you, but this adds for a really good grip. Again, I mentioned the G10 grips. They are aggressive, but not overly aggressive. And again, front strap checkering. And as you see right here on the trigger guard, there is checkering there. Some people think it's for aesthetics or whatnot. It may help whether if your fingers here or whatnot to secure a grip. Either way, I like it, and I like the way it shoots. Um, the safety here, it's ambidextrous. Some models are not ambidextrous. It is a positive grip, and you, like I said, with that trigger pull, I do not know the poundage of the trigger pull. I'm going to go by a guess. I'm going to say somewhere between 4.5 to 5, but it's not a trigger pull that where you feel that like you have to really strain your fingers to really get that trigger pull going. So let me just give you my shooting impressions. Um, at I started shooting this at 7 yards and it was very accurate. I mean, all you have to do is line those sights up properly and it was very accurate. So I'm just going to show you the first target, roughly, see if I can get that here. And yes, I pulled a shot. Let me get in position here. I pulled a shot here. Now that's my own stupidity. I pulled down uh, uh, when I was pulling the trigger. Well, that's a common mistake. You kind of like anticipate the shot and you jerk down and you're off target. Or other than that, this would have been a perfect target. As you see, it's very centered, very well here and around here. Few flyers here and up here. Mind you, this is at 7 yards, so I'm very, very impressed with the accuracy on this. And here is the other target. The other target I stretched out anywhere between 7, 10, and as you see, this is 12 yards. 12-yard shots, I didn't really see it that well, so that's pretty much an excuse, but actually I didn't shoot right. So I would say 10 yards, I did pretty well over here, and then I just inched it out a yard or so forth. This firearm is very, very accurate for its size, and I'm very impressed with that. So, say what you want about SIG. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that their quality control is spotty at times. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I'm not going to, especially when it comes to the finish that they use on these Legion series, their PVD coating or whatnot. I'm not going to worry about that with this firearm because this is going to be a workhorse. This is something that I'm going to be carrying, and this is not going to be a safe queen. So with that said, that's all I have to say about this. I'm pretty much liking the firearm. Like I said, I was not a micro pistol person, but like I said, recent events is forcing me to carry a micro pistol, and you're going to see another firearm that's considered a micro pistol, which is this one. And just to give you, I forgot to do this earlier, but just to give you a look at the size differential, I had the 12 round magazine for this P365, but this usually with the, let's say the 10 round magazine, it would probably pretty much line up perfectly. And I guess this was the P365 before there was a P365. So with that, you'll see the review on the P365 moment and in the next video. So happy shooting, stay safe, #2A.